Hi, my name is Thomas, and I'm currently working on a tycoon/management game where you build and maintain a space station. Today, I'll be showing you some early prototypes I worked on in the past, leading up to the current state of the game. So, how did we get here? I have always been a big fan of games like Simcity, Railroad Tycoon, Prison Architect, and many others. So it's not a surprise that when I started adult college for a graduate degree in programming, I immediately started working on a similar project in Unity. Here you can see me playing around with that first project. It doesn't have a name, it's just called Build Test 1. You could place walls, and existing walls were updated to the correct tile. At the time, I was pretty proud of this. During this time, I was working a full-time job, all the while attending college in the evening and weekends, so there was not much free time left. After about a year, the game looked like this. You can build walls, doors, inside floors, outdoor paths. Workers arrive to construct everything you place down in order. The workers have a pathfinding system and they follow paths if they see them. This was supposed to become a game where you build and manage a factory of some sort, but the project had become difficult. Half the code was decent while the other half was unmanageable spaghetti code. When I got to the last months of my graduate course, we had to create a sort of end project. So naturally, what did I do? Right, make a game. What else do wannabe game developers do? Perfect opportunity because I could salvage parts of the discontinued factory game. I started work on another building game. This time with a clear theme. You build and manage a space station. I've always been a fan of science fiction, so the setting felt natural. This game was aptly called Stellar Base Tycoon. When I had to present my project to the jury at the end of that school year, it looked like this. In total, I had worked about 4 months on this. During this time, other classes were still going on, and I still had my full-time job. Needless to say, when I presented it to the jury, it wasn't the game I had envisioned at the start, but I passed the class anyway. During the presentation to the jury, I didn't want the builders in the game to be just spheres or cubes, so I added some random character art I found on the internet at the last moment, literally hours before the presentation. This is why the animation doesn't stop when the characters stop moving. Just like before, you can build walls and floors, which together make halves. You can also build doors, of course. Most of that was salvaged from the last project. I spent a great deal of time, however, on an AI system for the characters in the game. Here you only see these bars updating, but in the code behind, everything was ready to dynamically couple events to these. The AI system is also the reason why the characters sometimes stop working. In the code behind, they are sleeping or eating or resting. There are just no events assigned to that. It's just a variable that's updated. The only event that was in the game was building the things you place down, which you see the characters doing. So that brings us to the current state of the game. Due to the time constraints of the Stellar Base Tycoon project, I started skipping some steps during development, like adding a decent localization system, for example. Because of this, I started from scratch early this year so I could finally do it right this time. Stellar Base Tycoon has since evolved into Stellar Base Tycoon, and I really feel like that's the definitive name. I wanted a decent menu system first because I feel like this makes or breaks these kinds of games. The entire menu system is built with easy expansion and dynamically generated menus in mind. Localization has been added since day one, and there is also an entire setting system in place where different or extra settings can be easily added. I'm currently working on the placement grid, as I like to call it. This is the dynamic map/grid you see while you're placing something on the map. I'm building this with more complicated things in mind than placing down simple walls or floors. For example, copying parts of the map. It's working right now, but I'm in the process of converting some of its code to the Unity job system, which will make it as efficient as possible for those extra large space stations. I'll go over the inner workings of some of the game systems in the next development video. If you like this video, don't forget to press like and or subscribe to the channel. Already looking forward to the next video. See you later.